with Carl, like lovers do, on XFM 104.9.
Is that for all the lovers out there?
Yeah. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and little Carl Pilkington. Oh, we're having a laugh, aren't we? Little Carl with his sandwich and that.
Hasn't he?
I'm still bruised where you punched me in the shoulder, showing that you could box.
Yeah, to be fair though, Rick, you do think that you're now a professional boxer because you've been on the telly boxing.
Yeah.
No, he does. I mean, he laughs about it, but he does walk around thinking, yeah, I could probably handle myself in a street brawl.
In fact, I walk around handling myself.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, don't I, Carl?
And often Carl.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, because his little round head, I've got another mate that's got a little bald head, and I'd like to squeeze it. I'd like to see how far, do you know what I mean, like an egg, you can squeeze it that way, sort of sideways, and that hurts, but then squeeze it forward to back, it doesn't hurt so much, does it?
Do you know what worries me, though? I think if you ever actually did crack Carl's head, I think yolk would come out.
Yeah, I did, he was drawing, and I gave him a little karate chop on the back of the head, and he jumped. He spasmed.
Sorry, you gave him a karate chop on the back of the head?
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I think I'd spasm, Rick. If a man crept up behind me and karate chopped me in the neck, that's probably a natural reaction.
Didn't I laugh, Carl?
That's right, good laugh.
Oh, so we got lots of little things to get through. I mean, look at his little face. You're right. We had a little lunch yesterday, didn't we?
We did indeed. That was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate going out with you two.
I was explaining to Carl, right? I like to excite Carl's imagination, right? And if it involves chimps or monkeys, all the better. Brains he likes, parts of the body, deformity. You know, I know where to, you know, what buttons to push. And I told him about this thing. I don't know if any of you out there know about this, but there's an experiment they did in the 50s, a clinical psychology experiment where your two hemispheres of the brain, okay, they're joined by a thing called the corpus callosum, right, which is just a little flap of skin, like a little scarlet lead that joins your two hemispheres. And what they did, they cut that in half, and they thought it was a cure for schizophrenia, but what it turned out to be, or epilepsy, I think, I can't remember, was that your two sides of your brains didn't function together. You couldn't get information. I was telling Carl all this thing, and one of the things I told him was that they did it on a monkey, and it fought itself over a nut. Like, its right arm was connected, you know, by its left lobe of the brain, and it was fighting over itself. And Carl went, instead of like thinking this is amazing experiment, he went, would it have been happy if you'd given it two nuts?
Yeah, I know. Well, you started off by explaining it, and I remember you mentioned, because I was watching the two of you as you were describing it to me, you said, of course, one side of the brain deals with symbolism, and as you said the word symbolism, I noticed Carl drift away from looking at you, pick up his mobile phone, and start pressing buttons randomly. And I thought it was the word symbolism that got him, and I noticed it took you just a moment longer, and I think the first thing you said was, when did I lose you?
Yeah, I knew I'd lost him.
It's extraordinary, and he doesn't even try to disguise it.
I think I said nomenclature at one point as well.
Right, yeah.
And I knew I was dicing with death there.
Yeah.
But, but I told you tried to look it up, didn't you, on the web? You didn't find anything about it, did you?
The spelling of it's, what is it again? What's the word?
Corpus callosum.
Yeah, so I couldn't do it.
No, there's no point. Don't bother.
Give up.
Don't bother.
Give up.
So if anyone knows any interesting facts about that,
yours hasn't been cut in half, has it, Carl? That would, again, might explain something.